G'day, my name is Mike Rolls and I spoke today all around resilience and the ability to stand tall through challenge and change. I shared my story of when I was 18. I lost both of my legs, one below the knee and one halfway through my foot as a result of meningococcal disease. Perfectly healthy, went away on a football trip and unfortunately breathed in at the wrong time and woke up 5.5 weeks later at the Alfred in Melbourne to the devastating news that I'd suffered such catastrophic injuries. Moving on from that was a really difficult process in those early days. I don't really think I had all the answers that I do now, but somehow in some way and through the help of some amazing support that I had around me, I was able to turn a really awful situation into a better one by asking the question, what's next? And that was originally very, very trivial. It was sitting on the side of a bed without throwing up. That was a great goal that I had, and then that moved on to transferring to a wheelchair, and that moved on to getting a prosthetic leg and standing up for a few seconds, and eventually I was able to walk and put those things in place by continually moving forward and creating a bit of momentum in my life. Today I touched on a few of those stories. My aim was to connect emotionally with the audience, get them to think about their own lives and the challenges that they face, both personally and professionally. And I touched on three really important areas that we can all do to ensure we can build our resilience and to stand tall in our lives. And the first one is around really strong, deliberate decision making. One of the things that we tend to do as humans is we leave things as they are because it's too much hassle or it's hard, or we just don't want to face the prospect of having to make a change in our life. So I really encourage people to think about that. My situation personally was a left leg that would never heal that I chose to remove in order to improve my life. And ever since I made that tough decision, I guess you could say, my life has gone from strength to strength. And I think people can relate to that because we've all got some area of our life that we want to change and improve. Sometimes we sort of, I guess, for lack of a better term, we drag our feet on that situation. That was the first point, was around decision making. Second thing was around getting used to challenge and getting used to uncertainty and anxiety in a controlled environment. I think when we do that and we push ourselves outside of our comfort zone in life, we get used to those more uncertain times when they are forced upon us. The more we get used to challenging ourselves and get used to that uncertainty, understanding that life is full of surprises, but it's not necessarily always a bad thing. One of the greatest things is that when we look back on those challenges, often we value them more than probably the nicer times in our life. We look back at them as opportunities to learn and grow. So that was the second point, was around challenging ourselves. The last point, which is probably underpins everything and I guess the most important one, is around taking care of yourself and monitoring your energy levels. Putting a real emphasis and a value on your ability to be successful in what you do, i.e. Not burning the candle at both ends, allocating time in your life to recover so that you can be selfish, I guess a little bit more selfish in order to be selfless. In other words, give more to those that you value the most in your life. That was the third key point and one really important one to remember.